Football with friends is fun as hell. My name is Alex Dunlap. Oh, man, I'm so pumped to see you guys today. What a big show we have in store today on a hump day, a victory hump day, a championship hump day, a college football playoff Wednesday as we just continue rocking through this week where I've been a part-time football with friends guy. We've had to take off a little bit early on Monday and Tuesday because of some dog training issues. It's looking like that will continue today on Wednesday, but this will be the last day of that. So today we'll be getting out of here at 5 as usual, but we're going to keep this thing or 5 as we have the last couple of days, but we will be keeping this thing jam-packed for sure. We have Anwar coming on at 4 p.m. So we'll to talk to him about sort of his thoughts. I talked to Anwar this morning on his show, but we haven't had him on this show to kind of talk about to talk about, everything he thinks about college football playoff, the world of Texas, transfer portal, recruiting, everything else with Anwar. And of course, we'll do rankings with Anwar. I have a whole list of rankings questions that are going to be fantastic this week. I think DHawk's going to join. So Donald Hawkins, great ex. I guess not X. I mean, once you're a Texas Longhorn, you're always a Texas Longhorn. So DHawk said he wanted to come on. We'll see if he does. He's a busy guy. He always has the open invitation. So if he pops in, he pops in. Transfer portal, the exercise that we started yesterday. What does Texas Blake? What is the name of the show again? The building through the transfer portal, something like that. It's the same thing.
Plan for the portal.
The plan for the portal. Great job, Blake. Golly, what would we do without you? All right. So the plan for the portal. What are we gonna do here? Where's the emphasis need to be placed? We have the the Big 12 championship game breakdown. I'm not done with the offense, guys. This offense is going to take me. I've gotten through like 60 plays, and generally that's enough to where I can make a effort to be able to get this thing done by Wednesdays for you guys. It's not going to happen today. I'm like in the third quarter right now. I think this thing's going to be 100 plays. So we'll have the offensive breakdown. I'm going to tell you, it's not going to look pretty for DJ Campbell this week, though. We'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Kelvin Banks is having a heck of a game so far, and I think you probably knew that he had the single highest graded block of the season, one that you've probably seen all over Twitter by now, or X, I should say. X.
Real quick, text guy too. It was a fake tweet. Fake portal tweets all over the place, guys. Don't fall for them.
Yeah, don't fall for him. Let's see. Sawyer Gorin Welch enters the portal. BJ Allen Jr. enters the portal. We'll talk about those guys, what it means. The Red River Rivalry has a new contract with the Cotton Bowl through 2036. Got the press release from Texas. I kind of wanted to read that off because there was some stuff about the history of this thing that I didn't know. Maybe.
And they also announced $140 million in upgrades for the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, so I have that press release. Finally, Bianco doing some work, getting the press release out. He had a big Bianco busy day for you today, buddy. Busy day. Thanks for getting out that information, though.
Bronx cheer from Alex.
And, let's see, and then Jarrett Gibson, Jason reporting. We talked about Jarrett Gibson, the IMG Academy running back yesterday, and about how my swindly suspicions with the Trevor Etienne entering the transfer portal, and talk about him taking an official visit to Florida. Jason Sucamel on Orange Bloods reporting that he will not be taking that visit this weekend, an official visit this weekend. Now, there could still be an official visit the weekend after, but according to his dad via Jason Sucamel over there at Orange Bloods, it looks like Texas is hoping to kind of dodge that bullet so far. What's up to everybody in the chat, man? So good to see all you guys. Golly, we got Jay Ward who's saying, let's go. Hold on. I think Jay, look at Jay Ward with his awesome, dude. Jay Ward's up in the tree stand today with his football with friends hat, his camo hat. Dude, now that is fun as hell, Jay Ward. Look at that. That's a great looking hat. And you can get yours by scanning that QR code right there, or going to the link. Blake will drop a link in the chat, but you can scan the QR code and go get a shirt, go get a hat. You can get an iPhone case. I think we have some sandals. I don't know.
Some sandals. Come on, guys.
we got a bunch of stuff. It's just fun as hell. But hey, Jay Ward, what we're gonna need from you, I would like to get some play-by-play from the tree stand. Just like hey, I think I see a doe, or oh, big 8-point walking out. That we need to live vicariously through you, because so many of us would love to be in tree stands right now. Not that I don't love being here, and not that I don't love going out here and dealing with the invisible fence guy, and teaching the new pup how not to get shocked. But golly, just speaking of shocks, man, since tingles down my spine to think about being up in a tree stand right now. So keep us informed, please. Blake Winfrey, so good to see you. Sandman 23, he's saying New Year's Day is sure going to be fun in NOLA. FAFO. Dude, Blake, you're not going to the game, are you? I mean, you probably having to do producer stuff around here, catch, and they're going to do the watch along and all the rest of it. Yeah, man. Let's see.
I went to the game in 2018, and that was a lot of fun. Sugar Bowl.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, the one where Uga almost got mincemeat.
I was there. I was in the stands right by it. I saw it playing out. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Look, they're bringing Uga over. Yeah. Holy yes! Like.
It was so good, man. It's so good. Let's see. All right. So good to see everybody. Text Guy 2, great to see you. Gringo Horn 65. Look at Val Garcia. Look at Val. Look at Val Garcia. Richard Arias, we got almost a month to enjoy. That's what I keep saying, man. I was telling Anwar on his show today, and we'll get Anwar on here eventually. I was saying, man, it feels good to kick back, relax, have this, just have this stuff to where we can talk about ancillary issues and things like that, dabble in it, talk about the game here and there, but be able to watch the rest of college football and know that Texas is the big show that everybody's like. Texas is the headliner. Feels good, man. It feels good to be the headliner, man. It's been a lot of rough years around here. We got Hacker in the chat. So good to see you. Tyler Finley saying next Friday is Hawaiian shirt day. Is that at your office, or are you making a proposition here for Football with Friends? I don't think I have a Hawaiian shirt. Blake, do you have a Hawaiian shirt?
Maybe not a Hawaiian shirt, but I do have some like floral kind of fishing shirts that I could probably wear.
Okay. He's saying it's an Office Space quote. Well, I should have. I should have. Well, I mean, we could make next Friday Hawaiian Shirt Day. It sounds fun. Blake May, so good to see you, my friend. Alan Makeda says, "Where's Greg?" I guess I'm probably, as usual, I'm a bit of a boomer in a younger middle-aged man's body. I'm not sure what that even means. Ricardo V, so good to see you. Sam Storm, what's up? Horns up, indeed. So good to see all you guys, man. Colin Crowder, Money B, of course, Money B's in the building. Kylie Davis, yes, transfer portal. Look, we're gonna talk about it. We have to talk about it, don't we? Uncle Mickey, oh my gosh, Uncle Mickey doing the Mickey hands from up in Canada. Now, Blake, did you ever play Mickey hands whenever you were in college?
No, I don't think I'm
40 hands. Okay, well, it's a game, right? Wherever you get 40s or Mickeys or whatever you want it to be, like the 40-ounce beers, and you got to take them, you put them in your hands, and then somebody duct tapes them onto your hands, right? And you got two that are duct tape on your hands. You can't use your hands for anything except drinking the 240s, and once the 240s are gone, they kind of take it off. But it makes it super hard to use the restroom. Makes it super hard to function and do any stuff you would normally do. 40 hands, Mickey hands, Uncle Mickey, the two Longhorns there with the. I can't believe we have viewers in Canada, man. So good to see you guys. David hit. So he's saying 140 million. Haha, it's still going to be a dump. Let me just kind of go into that because, like I said, I'll read a little bit from the release that Texas sent here. So this came from Thomas Stepp, who's a lot better at his job than John Bianco. So Texas, they've agreed to a contract extension. They'll keep the historic All-State Red River rivalry football game at the Cotton Bowl through 2036. So in addition to the Dallas Sports Commission and Dallas Tourism Public Improvement District increasing the game fees paid to each school, so they're going to get an increase in game fees paid to each school. The city of Dallas has agreed to make the single largest investment in the Cotton Bowl Stadium's history, an estimated $140 million, 2-year renovation project that honors the Cotton Bowl's celebrated legacy, yada, yada. So what they're going to be doing with that $140 million, so they're going to be widening the concourses and adding escalators. How do you put an escalator in that creaky old thing?
That's a good question.
I'd be golly. Have
you seen this here? I'll pull this up. They got a rendering of what they're going to do here. Let me take this down. You can keep reading while I pull
They're
this
going to
up.
be increasing fans' comfort level while entering and exiting the stadium because of the widened concourses. Renovations to concessions and restrooms. They badly need to get those public restrooms fixed up at the Cotton Bowl. They are horrible. It really is it's worse than a high school stadium. Increasing the number of hospitality areas and premium environments. They need to fix those too. In the areas around there where you the areas there where they kind of have TVs and it looks like a big cafeteria in there that's at the end of the carnival row.
Yeah.
Right. That thing looks like a high school gymnasium. They need to just you know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff needs it needs a big time facelift. It seems like we're going to be able to get that. So the first phase of the renovations to the west side of the stadium is to be completed by 2026. The second phase of significant renovations to the east side of the stadium will be done by basically by the end of the contract, September 2034. So I'm not sure.
Now, I don't think there's going to be any interruptions from Texas and Oklahoma playing at the Cotton Bowl, but if they had to do renovations that were so extensive that they couldn't play the game there for a couple years, would you rather it be, and somebody brought this up on House Divided, would you rather it be at Jerry World or would you rather it be home and home?
Oh, I think, all right. So what it says is that, so this is the 95th consecutive year that the game has been played at a neutral site with an equal distance from both schools. So they've met on the grounds of the State Fair since 1929, and they've been in the Cotton Bowl Stadium since it was built in 1930. Mm-hmm. So this game has always been played at a neutral site halfway between both schools. So would you want to keep that tradition and keep it at Jerry World? Because Jerry World, I don't think it's clearly nicer. It's a better place, but it doesn't feel like it has the cachet of doing it at the place where you played it this whole time. Either way you do it, it feels like it would be kind of a a suboptimal, sub-replacement level kind of venue for this game, right? Is substituting anything out for the Cotton Bowl. The question is, do you keep the streak since 1912 of playing it at a neutral site halfway between both schools where both schools kind of meet in the middle, right? The tradition of the actual Red River rivalry, right? You kind of meet pretty close to the Red River. Or do you just take the one opportunity that you're ever going to have to be able to see Oklahoma come into DKR and Texas go to, I don't even know the name. What is it? Gaylord Stadium something? I don't even know.
Gaylord Memorial.
I've never seen a game there.
No.
I've certainly never seen Texas play there. So
I personally think a home and home, just a one-time home and home with the Cotton Bowl under renovations would be freaking awesome. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, I prefer that over Jerry World because I don't like the environment at Jerry World.
Yeah, but that does break the streak of it being a neutral site type of game. Okay, so that's the deal with the Cotton Bowl. So 2 more players to the portal. Sawyer Gorham Welch goes to the portal, and I'm just going to check and see. I don't think he's played this season. Let me just look and see Sawyer Gorham Welch. If he's put what is he's. I don't even know at this point if he's playing defense. He's playing center right now. So I'll just look at the offensive line snaps per disruption, but I don't think he's played. Yeah, so the only Texas offensive linemen that played this year are the guys who are the starters: Kelvin Banks, DJ Campbell, Christian Jones, Jake Majors, Hayden Connor. In addition, the guys who played 100 snaps are Cole Hudson at right guard, Cam Williams has played 111 at right tackle, Connor Robertson has played 109 at center, and then the other reserves who've played are Nato Omiazolo. He has played 47 snaps. Gosh, he's allowed disruption once every 9.4 snaps. Nato has. Jaden Chapman at left tackle has played 22 snaps. Trevor Gooseby at left tackle has played 9 snaps. Malik Agbo has traded out his jersey from number 80 to number 67 6 times this season to play right guard. So those are the only guys who played. No Sawyer Gorham Welch. This is another one in the transfer portal where we're going to say, not a huge deal. BJ Allen Jr. to the portal, the safety, of course. Now, this brings into focus a lot more of the stuff that we talked about with safety yesterday, right? With Andrew Makuba, with Xavier Filsame. It feels like safety is going to be an important position for them to look at. And when you just look at the people who are leaving, Catalan and the portal beats, like, let's see, what two out of the three portal additions so far have been safeties. That's pretty telling. It's pretty telling, and they're going to need to probably the plan for the portal is going to need to involve safety, right? So when we talk about the plan for the portal, what did we get through yesterday? What did we get through yesterday?
We got through tight end yesterday.
What do you see Shearman? He's always too sharp. We need to see here. Cotton Bull needs more than a facelift. He needs a tummy tuck. I don't even know what a BBL is. A BBL, lip injections. Oh, is BBL Botox? Something like that.
It's the Brazilian butt lift, isn't it?
Oh,
that's what BBL is.
And see Shearman's so familiar with the procedure that he actually has an acronym for it. Good for you, C. Shearman. Let's see. Jeremiah Park says Jerry World is not the place for an actual rivalry. Go home and home, and they'll keep the wild atmosphere going. Look, even Blake Winfrey knows about the Brazilian butt lift. JD, they look at this. Everybody said I don't even know what that means. People getting butt lifts now.
Seems like something TMZ would talk about all the time. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's got to be for women, right?
I would assume so.
Would a man get a butt lift? Or
anything is possible in today's society, Alex.
Of course, a real man, a true alpha would never get a butt lift. All right. BJ Allen. When we look at that, let's just look at the player participation. As far as him this year, what was he able to do? He played BJ Allen played 3 total snaps this entire season. He played 1 snap versus Rice. He played 2 snaps in the final game of the regular season versus Texas Tech. 3 snaps on the year. Let's see if he did anything on those 3 snaps. BJ Allen. Let's see. Allen.
All of the IG models Anwar dates have those BBLs.
Oh, dude. Speaking of the women that Anwar dates, dude, I have a great rankings with Anwar question for him.
Teaser.
Okay, let's see. So we have. Let me pull up my scholarship board because that one you have to me it's hard to see. Where did we end yesterday? So we ended yesterday on tight end. We talked about how it could be something that could be addressed. I think I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. What are the rules, Blake? Why don't you give him a brief overview of the rules that we established?
I don't even know if we established
because I forgot.
Was it Big 12 tiebreaker?
It was. I think we said it's 1 through 10 that we're going to rank it. That we're going to say. But it's based only on level. Okay, it's 1 through 10 that we're going to rank it. But it's only based on the level of interest that Texas should have in the portal at this position. Okay. Let's see. Tyler Finn.
I just sent you an updated board, by the way, with all the current names taken off.
Tyler Finley's asking about what positions did Jelani McDonald take snaps at this year. What did he take snaps at this year? I'm not sure.
Ooh, good question. And keep in mind, some of these may be not exactly in the right position. These are where they were slotted as recruits, and then we kind of adjust them as their careers evolve.
Yeah, Jelani McDonald played a bunch of snaps this year on special teams. 1 snap on defense at nickel corner. 1 snap on defense at nickel corner. So that whenever we get to nickel. I've been talking about this all year. That's just going to be a really interesting spot. It's such an important spot for Texas. The nickel corner, I mean, that's the star, dude. It's like Nick Saban. That's your Minkah Fitzpatrick. Saban has turned that into such an important piece in these defenses. All right, so we left off at
tight end.
You just sent me a new one. I think we gave the tight end a 6.5.
Yep.
And we just said that we're gonna go over the rules, and then I didn't even go over them. The rules are we decide on a level of 1 to 10 how important a position is for Texas to focus on. So the next one would be offensive tackle. So the guys that Texas has currently at offensive tackle before anybody leaves, Christian Jones, Kelvin Banks, Cam Williams, Max Merrill, who's a redshirt sophomore, Malik Agbo, a redshirt freshman, then the true freshman, Andre Kojo, Trevor Gooseby, Peyton Kirkland, Jaden Chapman also belongs in that one, Blake, if you want to just update that one on the next one, because he's been playing left tackle. They're going to have Brandon Baker in that one as well, coming in as far as a 2024 commit. Brandon Baker moving up to like the number 18 play, up to the number, was he number 18 or 13 in the country in the latest Rivals? That just, I mean, just crazy. So what do you have here? You have Christian Jones leaving. He's going to the Senior Bowl, but you're sitting super, super pretty, at least for 2024, with Kelvin Banks and Cam Williams as your projected starters. You have Brandon Baker coming in. He'll probably be in a position to work his way into the second team right tackle spot behind Cam Williams. I would say he plays right tackle at his school. They don't mix him up to right tackle, left tackle, because you got to remember they have a really good left tackle out there too. The Auburn kid, I forget, DeAndre Baker. Is that right?
Yes.
Dude, how do I remember all this stuff? I feel like just by osmosis. I think it's DeAndre Baker. But so he's at right tackle. That's where he plays. I think that's where he projects. Really, really, I think maybe eventually
DeAndre Carter, is that right?
Maybe DeAndre Carter. That could be it.
And Brandon Baker. Yeah.
What did I say? DeAndre Baker? Yeah, DeAndre Carter. I think eventually Baker could play left. And then, Kojo, Gooseby, Kirkland, both these just giant, these big, these massive bodies, whatever they call it, big humans, large humans, part of that whole deal. I don't know that a tackle is the kind of guys that enter the portal at the offensive tackle position probably are not going to be the kind of guys who are going to be anybody who would push a Banks, who would push they would not push a Banks, they would not push a Cam Williams. These would be guys that would be wanting to come to Texas to compete on a 2 deep. And with that being the case, you're not going to get a super blue chip kind of. You're probably not going to find a super blue chip offensive tackle, one of these program changing bookend tackles in the transfer portal. Anyway, but certainly you're not going to want to find one that says, "Yeah, man, I'll come to Texas and back these dudes up who are young." I guess probably Kelvin Banks will be out of here after next year. It'll be hard to picture Cam Williams being gone after next year. Feels like he'll probably be a guy that plays his junior year and parlay that into a big senior season, unless he just comes in and plays absolute gangbusters, which shouldn't be considered out of the question one bit. He's one heck of a player, man. Like I said, you just have these dreams about what it's going to be like to see DJ Campbell lined up next to Cam Williams. This last game from DJ Campbell notwithstanding, because man, it was not pretty. It wasn't. He might grade out unacceptably, Blake. I don't know yet, because the rest of the game might be better. But he's already given up a sack. He's given like 3 run stuffs, a quarterback hit. It was a rough game for DJ Campbell this last week. That's the way it's been with him, man. It's been up and down. So Christian Jones gone. The pure numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these. I mean, it's a 2. I think you take a look at the portal for one of these guys. If one comes out and he's like some dude that's, like some of these stories that you're hearing coming up, like with Princely or with Makuba or any of these other guys, it's just like, well, hell, I mean, he's from Manor or he's from LBJ. He might want to get closer to home. Maybe we can work something out. If he's a younger player, he can sit 1 year behind Kelvin, and we can explain that to him. But I think it would need to be a really unique situation. It just doesn't feel like these young, super good offensive tackles get into the portal that often. But with that being said, last year we did have Brockermeyer. Did Brockermeyer even play for TCU? Does he even play?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think didn't we look at that at one point? I don't think he was playing very much.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. DHawk would know where he likes Chapman best. That's his guy. Yeah. Well, that's what C. Shearman's saying. It looks like like I told you guys, man. With DHawk, he has a standing invitation. He might not be making it today. We'll end up seeing about that, because we do have Anwar joining us here in a minute. It would be cool if DHawk popped in when Anwar was on. Then we could have rankings with DHawk and Anwar.
That would be cool.
Yep.
Hey, real quick, since you gave tight end a 6.5, does Jake Johnson out of A&M, who went into the portal this morning, interest you at all?
What's it? Jake Johnson. Which one is he? Let me look at a picture of him.
Big tight end, number 19 for A&M. Really, really good player. His brother's Max, the quarterback.
Jake Johnson, A&M. I just want to see him because I don't follow A&M like I follow Texas.
He was a top tight end in the class of 22.
Oh, gosh, this big yes. Oh, would I be interested in that guy?
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, dude, he looks like a. I mean, I was tilted whenever Jared Wiley left Texas, and that guy's always kind of reminded me a little bit of Jared Wiley. So I think, yeah, he's a good player. Whether Texas is he gonna? What have his stats and stuff been this season?
I'll have to pull up his stats, but he's been a pretty productive player just watching the games.
Jake Johnson, yeah, well, I certainly know him from the games. Golly, every time you look him up, it just pulls up this dude. It pulls up some other Jake Johnson. Jake Johnson, born Jake Johnson Weinberger, is an American actor and filmmaker. He has starred as Nick Miller in the Fox sitcom New Girl from 2011 to 2018, for which he was nominated for Critics' Choice at the Television Awards for Best Actor in a Comedy Series back in 2013. Do you know who this guy is? Hold on, I'll see if I can share my screen here.
So Jake Johnson's stats don't just like pop off the page. He's got 24 catches for 235 yards. Oh yeah, here he is. Who?
Do you guys recognize Jake Johnson?
I don't think I know that guy.
From what's the show he was? What did I say he was from? Like the New Girl or something? Yeah, I don't know that guy. I wouldn't take that guy in the portal.
No,
I wouldn't take that guy. As far as the A&M tight end for sure, man. Jeremiah Park says Brockermeyer turned out to be the new Mason Walters. Man, old Mason Walters wasn't that bad. And I love, man, Mason Walters. I remember one time at a player breakout availability. I was just like, hey, like, hey man, like, you had a great game last week, all this stuff. And he goes, yeah, man, I really appreciate you doing all this stuff with grading all of our plays. He's just like, he's on super tilt with it. So yeah, but offensive tackle, man, Texas is fine. They got the developmental guys in there. They got these pieces in place. You got to have faith in what Kyle Flood's doing with the fact that he's handpicked these dudes. You have a super stud 5-star coming in to backfill the Kelvin Banks, Cam Williams stuff. Whenever they move on, I give this a 2. Like I said, it's got to be a perfect fit. And of course, man, Anwar Richardson, always a perfect fit to come here on the show. We got a bunch to talk to with him, and we're going to get to that next.
I'm assuming we get number 2 next, and I'm assuming obviously that would be Washington, unless they want to get kooky and go to the bottom and like give us 6. But I'm assuming we get number 2. Oh, they're going to say it and then cut away to Harbaugh. They cut away to Jim Harbaugh watching, and now we see the clap reaction in Indianapolis. So we are really slow burning this one. Michigan's won. Jim Harbaugh is clapping and sending someone to all 3 of the prospective
Harbaugh had
opponents.
the signals before the announcement was ever made. Like,
yes, he did.
knew.
Yeah, well
He
played.
hired someone to be in the room, to buy a ticket to be in the ESPN production room.
The number 2 team we would assume is next. It is, and it's Washington. All right, there's no shock. 2 undefeateds, 2 that we knew if they're undefeated and they win, they get in. They're in. Michigan's in the 1-4 game. Washington is in the 2-3 game. DeBoer and his crew, well-deserving, like Jason said, beat Oregon twice. Now, this may be Texas next. This may be the moment, Texas fans, you've been waiting on, because number 3 would be next. Number 3 is next. If it's Texas, then all this hard work, this is why you lift those weights. This is why you do all that
and
shit.
Washington's not having a party, so we don't have to
cutting
do
away
the
to
cutaway
Washington.
shot.
Exactly. Could it be Texas? Could it be Texas at number 3? It's got to be the next thing they announce. This could be Texas. Or is it going to be Bama? Or is it going to be Florida State because they're undefeated and they're really weird and they're going to put them at 3? We'll see. Michigan won.
Put Georgia
Washington
5.
Texas is in. Texas is in. This just
Texas
in. Texas is in. They are the 3 seed. Texas and Washington will have a rematch. It's probably, well, I don't know if it's going to be Rose Bowl or not. We'll have to, it may be Atlanta.
That's going to be a fun game. That should be a fun
They're
game.
in. They're about to show the reaction. They just went crazy. Phones are being utilized in Austin, Texas to video and take pictures. Things are being thrown. Anwar Richardson is probably being pushed and pulled. Steve Sarkisian is looking very excited. Texas is in. Congratulations, Longhorn fans. You put on the show you needed to put on. The Undertaker gave viewers a belt, and the committee couldn't say no to you.
No matter what you're needing, Specs same-day delivery can save the day with our Specs app or online shopping. From world-class wines to hard-to-find spirits and craft beers to gourmet foods, delicious snacks, and spectacular sweets. It's Specs. Cheers to savings.
Oh yes, we got Anwar. We got Anwar. It's football with friends. It's fun as hell. Anwar, great to have you back on.
Hey, I got something to show you, Alex. I thought you
All right.
would really appreciate this. Okay, so I made a wager. Said this on my show, but you would appreciate this. There's a guy on who comes on there. His name is Just Opinion Sports Show.
I've seen him in the chat.
He's a Sooner fan. He's a Sooner fan.
Okay.
And so after Texas OU, we started going back and forth on my show, and I was like, I think Texas will beat OU in a rematch. He obviously went with he said OU would beat him. So I was like, well, I'll bet you a bottle. And I was like, let's just put a bottle on it. And it's like, okay, I'll bet you a bottle. I said $50 limit. And then I said, but we had to set a parameter, which was, I said, hey, well, what if one of our teams don't make it? He goes, well, one of our teams don't make it, the other person is automatically wins. So after Texas qualified for the Big 12 championship game.
Oh, don't tell me you gave an OU fan. You doxed yourself to an OU fan and gave him your address?
No.
Okay.
I gave him my Cash App.
Your Cash App. Got it. Okay.
He sent it to me. I went to Specs this week, and I got myself this tequila over here.
Oh,
Premium Tequila Blanco. Okay, because you're a tequila fan.
Oh gosh.
And I'm gonna unbox it for you from here.
Okay, great. I love this. I mean, unboxing stuff always goes viral on YouTube. Blake, you want to put up a new thing? Tequila unboxing.
Here you go.
Gosh.
Here you go. Look at this, Alex. Look how beautiful this bottle looks.
It looks. Oh gosh. It looks nice. It looked a little bit better if it was a Reposado, but I mean, still looks very good.
There's 50 bowls. There's a $50 bottle right here, Alex. $50 right here.
I've never had that one before. What's it called? Tequila Lay something?
Yeah, it's called Tequila Lay 925. Tequila Lay 925.
You're gonna have to give it a try and let me know how it goes, man.
Yeah, I'll definitely. So, but this is on OU, baby. This is the taste of Sooner tears, baby.
Yeah.
As well, what out the drink I'm going to be having. So
Okay,
I just would appreciate that as a tequila fan.
couple things that we need to just readdress here. For one, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we're getting off today at 5, so I can go finish this training with the dog, and we'll be back to our normal schedule tomorrow. The other thing is, DHawk, he might be coming, he might not. Like I said, he has the open invitation to come. If he wants to come on, we'll have him on with Onward, whatever. If not, he'll come on tomorrow. Or not, but he's always welcome. And then the other thing is, I forgot to mention, please guys, if you're watching this, we have over 100 people in the chat. If you could please like the show. I was mentioning it yesterday. Ketchum does dock Blake and I's pay if it doesn't get to 100 likes. It's the way that he is. I'm sure he does it to you on more. Maybe he sets a higher threshold for you before he starts docking your pay. But for us, it's at 100. So if you guys could please like the show so we can keep the lights on, feed our families, all the rest of it. And it is indeed free to like the show there for sure.
Subscribe to the channel too. That doesn't help. That helps too.
Oh yeah. Well, did I not mention subscribe to the channel and also click the notifications bell? Look, I have it written right here to always mention like subscribe.
Good you, Alice. It's pretty special.
I just have a hard man. My brain's always all over the place, Anwar. Just all over the place.
Yeah, these shows, like there's you got 25 different topics, and then you got chats going and everything, and it's kind of hard to remember to go to Specs sometimes, So that's just life. That's just life.
Yeah. I gotta get back to Specs. What do you think, man? Well, I have a question for you, dude. What's it like being you're the team reporter, right? Largest fan site on the internet for any college football team. And you don't have to go to a game this week. You know, you're kind of off that grind, but now you got other things coming up. You got now it's like, Texas is going to be out trying to do some recruiting. There's the transfer portal stuff. You got to track down rumors about all the rest. And then there's the one thing that I wanted to ask you about was not that it's a big one, but there's a coaching coaching search. There's going to have to be a new linebacker coach, all this stuff like that. For you as a team's like beat reporter, how hard is that for you to sniff around anything like that about potential candidates, stuff like this? Because it feels like that it's like you're always so hyper focused on the exact team, right? And you don't necessarily have your finger on the pulse of every other school. Like, what school's got a great linebackers coach, or what tree should I go, sniffing around for this? Like, how do you even start to try and cover something like this? Like,
it's complex, Alex. And here's why. So first of all, you have a fan base that will always tell you familiar names, right? So they're going to throw up some names from some coach that coached here 15, 20 years ago. Yeah. And they're always going to throw that at you. That's going to be the first person. That guy's going to be 68 years old, but
bring in Muschamp.
You're like, okay, stop, So they'll say something like that. They'll be like, Gary Patterson's available. And it's like, all right, stop with that. Right. And so you're going to go through the list of obvious, right? And then really, I'll be honest with you, what this whole thing has evolved into, it's involved into the coaches who get jobs. They all usually have the same agents. So the agents, if I represent Alex Dunlap and then I also represent Blake, right? If Alex Dunlap, you're a coach and Blake is a position coach, I represent both of you. Well, I'm going to tell you need to hire Blake as one of my guys. Or I might have 4 or 5 guys that are there, and I'm going to tell you, hey, I need you to hire one of those guys because those are my guys. And because why? Because now I'm getting one as an agent. I'm getting another check. So let's start there, right? And I'm keeping it all in the family. And so realistically, now it really boils down to, Alex, is you got to know who Sark's agent is, and then you got to know who that agent represents. And then if you know who that agent represents, which there's no agent list, right? It's kind of hard to know those things. But if you know who his agent is, then all of a sudden you might be able to, especially if you have a good relationship with that agent, you might be able to, find out some information, but not some agents won't necessarily do stuff. So then the second part of that is you're going to have a contingent of people who throw someone's name out there just so they can get a pay bump from the school that they're at, right? So it might be, hey, such and such, and I'm going to use this as a wild example. This is not a true example, but hey, this guy is a linebackers coach at UTSA. I've heard that he might be a candidate. He may not be a candidate at all. But what that person is trying to do is get UTSA to then give him a bump over there because, oh my gosh, we don't want to lose you. So there's a lot of cat and mouse in here, and it's trying to really separate, the forest from the trees. So it really requires. What happens now, Alex, is that you have websites that don't give a damn. They'll just throw out whatever. They don't care because no one keeps score of it. And they'll say that guy's a candidate and that guy's a candidate and that guy's a candidate. Not really candidates, because then all of a sudden the guy that gets hired usually is not the person that gets thrown out first. It's some guy a week or two later that comes out of the blue, some dude from Indiana or some crap like that, and that guy gets the job, So so it is complex. There's a complexity of it as far as, because me, I try to pride myself in reporting and try to report accurate information. So I don't jump on stuff just to jump on it. And sometimes that's being a little bit slower kind of makes it feel like you're behind, but I also feel like I'm a little bit more accurate in my reporting as well.
Those agents, man, they can be brutal. Like, those agents can be tough, man, because they are not in it to be your friend. They're in it for their money and they're in it for their clients. I remember whenever after, so like I have better NFL sources with agents and stuff like that than I do with the college level with agent scouts, stuff like that. I've been doing that stuff and going to those events and integrating myself in professionally with those guys for a long time, as opposed to just for Texas, just kind of reporting on the team, doing the deep dig, stuff like that, right? But I did know one guy who, after Mac Brown, right, when things were looking like he was gonna be gone. Do you remember the whole John Gruden thing? John Gruden possibly at Texas, like out of the. Well, so what had happened was that was from, and I won't say his agent's name but it's an agent you would know, but he's an agent that says don't ever say my name. So I won't say his name, but he's Gruden's football agent, where Gruden had a different agent for his media stuff that he used to do on TV than he did for his football stuff. He had a football agent and a media agent. And this guy gets with me and he's like, "Hey man, you know that Gruden would take the Texas job. He's interested in it because he wants his guy back in football. And he eventually got his guy back in football, but he was just giving me that just to say, like, just to get his name talked about as somebody that could be a reasonable candidate for being a football coach again, So you never know when you're talking.
Well, yeah, and in that instance, I was like, yeah, John Gruden ain't going to be recruiting. Like that's that I was like that sounds cool, and I was like, yeah, and I think he got an ESPN bump when it was all said and done out of that one. But so there is sometimes agents potentially using reporters to help their guys get a little bit more money. But you also got to play the game, because if you tell them like, I think you're kind of BSing me, then the agent just calls somebody else, and then you got Catch like yelling at you like, why the hell don't you have this story? So you gotta there's like a give and take on this one.
Yeah, man, for sure. And they were asking me yesterday in the chat. I'd be interested to hear. I mean, I know that it's not a huge loss or anything that's going to be a huge program changing kind of thing, but whenever you think about Jeff Choate, his time at Texas, like, do you think it? I mean, is it clearly? I mean, if you lose a guy to go be a head coach somewhere, he's probably a pretty good coach. I mean, do you view it as a pretty big loss? Do you view it as just meh? Like, how do you view that?
I mean, it's a loss. I mean, to a certain degree, like it's not the end of the world, but it is a loss. Like he's been able to successfully recruit. He's been able to transform guys into really productive players, guys who, for a lot of these guys were kind of left for dead, when it's all said and done. Your Jalen Fords of the world was just a guy. David Benda was a guy that you never expected to do anything. Jet Bush was just a guy, at some point. Linebacker was always kind of a concern. And it ended up having some really good, linebackers that came through. DeMarvion always shown he already flashed before these guys got here. But you had DeMarvion, you had Jalen Ford come out of the blue. And then he's from a recruiting standpoint. They were able to sign a bunch of good linebackers. And at the end of the day, I mean, you gotta want to play for your position, coach. Because at the end of the day, it might be Steve Sarkisian, he might be cool, but this is the guy that I want to see all the time. Like, I'm only going to see Sark every once in a while. I'm only going to talk to him every once in a while. This is the guy I got to talk to every single day. And Jeff Choate seemed really relatable. Like, I think you and I talked this morning. The first time I really ever had a chance to hear him talk was during the Clips of Nevada, and then hear his press conference. And I thought to myself, I was thinking, especially as a father now, right, who has a kid who's into sports, and I was listening to him speak, and I was like, okay, yeah, I would listen to that guy if he was in my living room, trying to get a pitch to get my kid,
Yeah, I think so too. He seems like a real dude. What I mean? He seems pretty real. He's
like a no nonsense, but he also talks about things like relationships and relationship bonding and forming those ties, and like those things that are kind of really important, especially today's generation. Today's generation of kids, Alex. They, when you play football, Alex, your coach could MF you, and you had no choice, right? You just ran because he told you to run. You threw up because you were there. Water was a reward. Right? It wasn't a necessity. There was no water breaks. You just had to do it. Now kids, they want to know the why. You just can't do it. You got to know the why. And so coaches like him seem to be effective in explaining the why of why we do things.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. I'm not sure I could be a coach these days because like I grew up around so many coaches and stuff, and clearly I took coaching like the coaches I grew like. Just like what I know of a coach is the same as the dude that you're talking about. The dude that this is like I'm not sure it flies these days, right? I'm not sure.
I grew up when you had paddling in school. Like could you imagine that today? Like you could actually take a kid and you're like, oh, you know what your discipline is? You get a paddle, or and the principal will have like a little hole in there to get a little bit more air in it and let a little less resistance, and you could just beat someone's ass.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not saying it's wild to expect an explanation for things. I'm saying it's wild how different it is. It's a different coaching's a whole different culture now. It's just really weird. All right, we got to get to everybody's favorite part here because I worked hard on my rankings with Anwar today. I worked hard on them.
Going early.
All right, you ready for this? Because I got a few of them. So, we'll start with a Longhorns related one. Rank these guys, since there's been another guy that's left in the transfer portal. By the time I wrote this, there were 3. Rank these 3 players: Sawyer Gorham Welch, Xavier Bryce, Jalen Catalon.
God. All right. I mean, I'm gonna. All right. So no disrespect to the guys that left, and good luck to all of them. Man, I forgot that Sawyer Gorham Welch was on the team up until like he sent out a notice. I did. I was like, oh snap! I forgot that the guy existed. So I'm gonna go number 1, Gorham Welch. I'm gonna go number 2.
Are you ranking them from what?
I'm going from best to worst.
Okay.
All right, and I'm gonna tell you why in a second. I'm gonna go Gorham Welch 1. I'll go Catalon 2, and I'll go Bryce 3. Okay. Gorham, you know why I'm gonna go him number 1? Because he graduated. He graduated from UT. He came in here, and even though things didn't go his way, whatever the case may be, he walks out with a UT diploma. So he clearly kept his eyes on the prize. He's a grad transfer. He's got 2 years left. You know what? So for me, props to him for saying, you know what? I want to get a UT diploma. I want to get that T ring. Like I want to be forever a Texas X.
Yeah.
And so for me, he gets my number, all due respect from him.
He's also the only one who I've seen say that he's going to go through the rest of the season with the team, right? He's going to go. He's going to go to the national championship. He's going to do all the stuff. He's going to graduate in December and then just move on to the next chapter. But you know.
So you know what? That's to me. That's a mature adult. Like that's a mature adult. And so he will. I don't care about the playing from that portion of it. I'm like, you know what? That man gets it. That guy is going to be successful in life. And so he is number 1 for me. I mean, I'll probably go Catalan number 2, just because
he at least kind of played a little more than
he played. He played a little bit, and then I got to go Bryce number 3. I forgot he was on the team as well. So, but Gorham, just as a guy, Gorham Welch as a guy who graduated, all due respect to him.
Yeah, well, I think that that's a good answer. I wouldn't have gone with the graduation angle and then just kind of. Everyone knows he's not going to play. Coach is like, good for you, man. It's like, good for you. You go do it because you weren't going to play here. And like, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Okay. This is one that somebody asked about this earlier. They were talking about these things called the BBLs, which is some kind of Brazilian butt lift.
Oh, yeah, the butt lifts.
So they said if you had Anwar on, he'd know all about it because he dates all these Instagram models that all get this stuff done.
Well, I mean, the women I've dated are natural in their curves, so they don't. This is a brand new thing, but I've been in this game for a while, so. But I am a connoisseur, so let's go for it.
Okay, so this question involves your hypothetical next wedding to one of these women. Okay. A hypothetical wedding. Okay, so you can have it at three of these rank these 3 locations or like locales.
Money B is going to be really happy on this one. Money B always likes to ask me like the rank my women question, so this is going to be really good.
Okay, so you got to have a wedding of but you have to have a big one. It has to be like 1,000 people get invited to this thing. Giant wedding. You got to pay for the food and everything. You know, and you let's just say you have it at Disney World, okay? Someplace like Disney World, someplace like that. You know, it has to be like a theme park wedding. Tons of people, okay? 1,000 people.
What does the woman have to do with where we're at the location? I'm just kind of curious.
What does the woman have to do? She has to get married to your ass, man, right?
Okay, I'm just saying, like, are we ranking the locations or the women?
No, just the wedding ceremonies. Like,
okay.
A wedding ceremony.
Because you said BBL, so I thought you were going to give me like J-Lo, Beyonce, or something like that.
No. This is like wedding locations, wedding locales, and one is a huge wedding at some kind of kids theme park. Okay,
let's go.
All right. The second one is on the high seas, but you're on board.
Wait. So the first one, the first one is like Disney World.
Yeah, or just like a kids theme park.
Okay. Disney World has like wedding places. So
yeah, I'm sure that they have them. Like, I mean, it could be a Kalahari. It could, just anything like that. Okay,
not Kalahari. Like you said,
it's got to be something like a kids theme park. Okay, like a kiddie.
Because Disney World is like they literally do like major extravagant weddings at Disney World. So,
all right, so you could choose Disney World.
But all right, so not Disney World. So a kids theme park like SeaWorld.
You could have it at SeaWorld, absolutely. Yeah. That kind of locale. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right.
A big wedding at one of those. The second one would be on the high seas, but it would be on a commercial Alaskan crab fishing boat, like you see on Deadliest Catch. Just like on board of it, on the like out there when they're out getting the crabs. And the person officiating the wedding would be like one of the captains, and he would just do it through the onboard communication thing. But it could be a little bit dangerous, but you wouldn't have to pay for anything, right? You would just have to do it on board this Alaskan crab boat.
1,000 people on an Alaskan crab fishing boat?
No. This is a small. It can just be you and your bride, right? It can just be you and your bride.
Okay.
You can invite some close friends if they would sign the waivers. And then the other one would be just a wedding of your choosing, small wedding, a destination location in St. Petersburg, Russia.
Okay.
Blake, can you pull up a picture of St. Petersburg, or just type in St. Petersburg, Russia wedding and see what comes up? And like, let's put that up in the screen so he can kind of see what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But Russia might be a little bit of a scary place to kind of go, travel.
I mean, I don't know. Do they care about like black people over there? I can't imagine they do.
I don't know.
I've never heard of anything as far as it's a long flight though. That's the thing. So that's a long flight. Is Blake pulling it up? Because if not, it's okay. All right, let me look. I think the architecture looks beautiful though.
That doesn't look too bad. A nice Russian wedding. It doesn't sound bad.
That's beautiful. Could you imagine your bride taking pictures out in front of something like that?
It would be great.
That's fantastic. That blows everything else away at that point. Like, no. So St. Petersburg, Russia, number one. Okay. Number two would be the kids' theme park. And number three would be the crab fishing, because it's going to be the smelliest of all the venues. And then and she can't be out there like that. That's going to make her throw up, especially if she has some motion sickness. Kids theme park is you can invite the family, and then if you got kids, then they can all play and stuff like that. Like, who cares at that point? But that place looks beautiful. A long flight. But that's just me and her. Like, yeah. Then all the vodka that we can drink.
Nice.
Lit.
A nice destination. Yeah, it's true. But C. Sherman saying you can't be bringing any of the Rogue products on War. You can't be bringing those.
No.
Any prisoner swaps to.
Yeah, no. Well, they ain't gonna swap for me. I can tell you that much. My ass will be sitting there forever. I can tell you that much. Ain't nobody gonna swap. Nobody who no arms dealers for my ass. So I'll be sitting there forever. No. But see, I'm also not dumb enough. I understand, like, when you're in someone's backyard, like, you got to respect their rules. So I wouldn't bring anything. I didn't know until about like this year or so that you can bring like vape pens and on the plane and stuff like that. I didn't realize that, but you can.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know. I figured you
It can,
probably.
weirdly, you can bring it in as a carry-on.
Huh. I just.
So
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be vaping on the plane. You could probably get kicked off for that, and everybody takes a video of it.
yeah, but you can just bring it, and then take it with you, and you actually you're okay. It's kind of a weird thing, but yes, you can.
Okay,
St.
rank,
Petersburg sounds amazing.
rank these running backs: Jonathan Brooks, Ollie Gordon, Blake Corum.
Oh.
And to be fair with you with this one, this is incredibly hard. I don't have an answer for it.
I really feel like I got to go Brooks 1. I mean, Ali, when the first time he faced a really good defense, got stopped. You know, I mean, Jonathan Brooks. You know, I mean, he faced Alabama. You know, so
Yeah.
I know he can still do what he needs to do. So then it becomes between Blake and Ali. I'll probably go Ali 2 and Blake 3.
Isn't that super hard?
Yeah, it is very tough. It's very tough. But I just got to. My main factor is I know Brooks played against Bama, so that's kind of that's what does it for me. After seeing Ali, I mean, I don't know. He was all they had, and he's really fantastic. I don't know how Oklahoma State keeps producing top running backs. Like how is that? Like that's I don't know how they become the running back factory.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird how that kind of happens. It's at schools like, you know, with LSU, the way that they had the DB stuff. Texas had the DB stuff for a long time. It just feels like there's certain cultures that sort of develop around those positions.
Tough one though. That one was tough. That one was really tough.
All right, how about this one? So this one is kind of like last week where I said you have to make a $2,000 purchase, and there was like a wood lathe, all this stuff. Now this is a more
that was a tough one.
This is a more expensive purchase. Okay, we're talking more like $15K that you got to make here. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know what a bobcat, like a skid steer is? Do you know what that is? You use it to clear cedar trees. It looks like a little miniature digger kind of thing.
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
Okay, so
I see people do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can buy a used one of a well used one of those, but very still functional. They certainly hold their value very well. You can get a 1-seater Sea-Doo, right? But just one Sea-Doo with one seat. So anytime you go ride, you got to go ride by yourself. Okay. Or you could buy 15 acres of land in Terlingua, Texas, which is right by the Big Bend National Park, far west Texas, probably 7 to 8 hours away from here. Blake, can you actually, you can just start thinking about it. I'm going to go to Zillow right now.
I already got it.
And I'm just going to show you what a picture of what 15 acres in Terlingua would look like. You already have it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's one. Let me just share this. So Terlingua, just to give you an idea of what the land would look like, something along these lines.
Undeveloped land.
Yeah, completely undeveloped. Real raw. I mean, at 15 acres,
no utilities, anything like that.
Yeah, and 15 acres. Just picture like 15 football fields worth of this. That's about what you get. All right.
Oh, that's easy.
All right.
I'll take the land number one.
Okay.
It's the one thing that they don't build anything, and they're not building anymore. They ain't building any more land. Like land is land. So if you give me land, I'll take. I've got some property up in Lago Vista, Alex.
You do, really?
Yeah, I got property in Lago, undeveloped at this moment.
Dude, I can throw I mean, it's across the lake, but I can't throw a baseball. I could probably hit. I'm not good at golf, but if I was good at golf, I could hit a golf ball over there to it. It's just right there.
Yeah, it's right. So can I tell you? I gotta tell you something. So I was talking to someone like a few years ago, right? Probably like in 2019 or something. They're like, they're like, when everything's all said and done, people are probably going to start like going out to Lago, and they're like, I think Lago will be like the next booming kind of city. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of interesting. And so I had a friend of mine who did some realty stuff, and they showed me some stuff out there. And so it's not a lot of property. And don't get me wrong. It's not like I bought tons of acres, but I just figured like I'll get something,
Yeah, no, it's good.
And it was like, it's like 0.33 acres, right? And
Sure.
it was like some throwaway money. So I threw like 5,000 on it. And I was like, all right, I honestly, Alex, I told myself like I'll give it to my kids one day and they'll have a little something, for themselves. And like property values have gone up. I want to say like the last time I checked, it's like 40 or 50.
Yeah,
at this moment.
I was gonna say if you paid $5,000, you've more than 10x that. Like that's
yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah, it's about a 10x at this moment. And now I'm just waiting, for them to get some utilities and things like that out there. So I got a letter in the mail from one of the people in the cul-de-sac out there, and they like about a year ago. They wanted to put utilities out there. But they were like, it was like 150,000. I'm like, I don't give a damn about it right now. Like, somebody will do it for me.
Wait until somebody else does it to where you can just tap in. Yeah,
that's it. So I'm like, I ain't doing it.
Yeah,
I was like, somebody else would do it.
Yeah.
And I get calls all the time from people trying to buy my property. So yeah. So hopefully one day, I'll move out there to Lago. I'll take the acres. Number one. The second thing I'll do is a Sea-Doo, because I could go out there on Lake Travis and just have a blast. I don't need anybody out there with me. I'll just go out there, put my headphones in, and have a fantastic. Just fly around, have a great time, and whenever I want, and then I'll do the Bobcat, later. So,
all right.
Yeah, give me the land.
All right, cool. So I gotta get you out of here, but I gotta ask you these last two or three. All right. So here's one. If you have to rank these things about your level of comfort to wear to a press conference. Okay, I'm not saying you got to wear them
at a press conference.
Yeah, to a press conference with Coach Sark. Okay.
One,
you have to incorporate a Speedo somehow. You don't have to just walk in wearing just a Speedo, but maybe have a Speedo on underneath, on top of your pants, something like this, right?
All right.
You can wear a shirt with a picture of Coach Sark on it, just his face, but it's got a big clown nose on his nose. Okay.
Oh damn.
Or you can incorporate kind of like the Speedo, you can incorporate like a women's one piece swimsuit somehow. Yeah, but you don't have to walk in just wearing it. And look, Gary Giles is saying you've never seen this segment before, Gary. We'll talk plenty of football, dude. Relax.
All right. Okay, so I think I'll go Speedo 1, woman's one piece 2, and the clown of Sark number 3. The first two are just me looking foolish and everyone laughing at me.
Yeah.
The clown picture of him is going to tick him off, and so then he's going to be offended by that, and so that's more of a tack. The first two, I can say something like, "Yo, well, it's actually like Speedos for charity, man. So I'm raising money for such and such." Like, and I can explain it away, right?
Yeah,
it's one piece because we all need a peace of mind, and this is the charity that we're donating to, right? The Peace of Mind charity. But the Sark, like, you're a clown, that'll
be really bad. It'd be really bad.
That won't go well. Bianca will probably kick me out. So we don't want to do that.
All right, and last one. I mean, I'm decided if I want to be a football one because the guy's complaining, but this one I really do want to know. So I don't care. We'll talk a bunch of football right after.
Everybody be all right.
All right. So you could just wake up tomorrow and have the skills of one of these. Okay. Rank them: a master electrician, a master plumber, or a master HVAC specialist.
Ooh.
It'd be awesome to wake up with any of those, wouldn't it?
Now that is the hardest of them all. I think, let me tell you. Okay. All right. I think number 1 would be a master electrician, because my electrician, that goes to a lot of different areas, a lot of different realms. So I wouldn't be limited to just the HVAC portion of it. where I feel like there might be a little bit of a ceiling. You know, the electrician part, like I can install all kinds of different things, all kinds of lightings, whether it's homes, whether it's stadiums, whether it's whatever the case may be. I feel like my income could be so much higher as a master electrician. And who the hell is going to challenge me on that? you know, like if the electrician tells you something, what are you going to do? You're going to risk getting electrocuted and do it yourself? Like a plumber, I'll get on YouTube and I might be able to figure something out. Not the electrician stuff. I'm not going to die.
I don't. It's the one thing that I just don't do any DIY stuff. I just don't do it. I'm just like,
I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So I would do electrician first. I would do HVAC number 2 because I'm always going to make money with that one. There's always going to be a change of season. So now all of a sudden, when everybody starts using their heat, now all of a sudden that's going to drain something's going to break down, and then everyone uses their heat, and then all of a sudden, blah 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 comes. So I would do the HVAC number 2 and plumber number 3. And by the way, shout out to all those people who do it. You know, it's I tell people all the time, man, like, college ain't for everybody.
Oh,
like,
I've told my kids, man, like I've told my son, it's like, man, I'm saving up money for your college, dude. But if all else being equal, I prefer you to go learn how to be an electrician or something like that. Take all that money and I'll help you start a business.
Hell yeah.
Hell
yeah.
Like,
or you can go to college and be in, $70,000 worth of debt, coming out and making a $45,000 a year job and telling yourself like you made a good financial decision. Like, no, you didn't. So, but go and do some of those jobs that require your handiwork. Absolutely. Like, my son can't do stuff and he's not interested. Like, be an electrician, son. Go make a lot of money.
For sure. I love it. All right, Anwar, as usual, I kept you a few minutes long, brother, but
that's all. It's all good.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, man. Again, he's Anwar. His show is on. You guys know his show's on every morning, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and all of his content over at orangebloods.com. Anwar, thank you so much, brother.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, there he is, Anwar Richardson. We're coming back, and hey, look, and just for the other guy, straight football, nothing but football. Next.
Casey says in the super chat, was hoping for a Texas Bama rematch given the history of what happened in 2009. Yes, I'm getting ahead of myself, but man, I want that revenge bad. Casey, I'm telling you, like, that's what I think you're getting. I think the national championship is going to be Texas versus Alabama. And
I'm saying Texas is opened at 4.5-point favorites. Dude, that's a little surprising. I mean, in the Michigan 2.5-point favorites over Alabama. That's the early line already. So.
Here's your $1 million question from Steven for $9.99. Texas secondary versus Washington passing game. Is Texas up to the task? Hashtag Horns.
Yeah.
It's the worst possible matchup, I think, from a football standpoint that Texas could have been given, because Michigan, J.J. McCarthy is a good player, but their passing game isn't what Washington is. And we know Texas's kryptonite is a really good quarterback. They've seen 3 of them this year, and all 3 of them have had at least some really, at the very least, some modest. What would we call what Milroe did in Tuscaloosa? Was that modest success, or even something a little bit beyond that?
You're talking about just in that game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He ended up throwing for like 270 or something like that. Had Alabama in the lead, and then Texas storms into the fourth quarter. But I thought Milroe played well. And then Dylan Gabriel and Will Howard in their games obviously played really well. Longhorns win 2 of those games. They lose 1. Look, it's going to be a battle, guys. Texas and Washington. There's no reason to like bullshit you. I think Texas should win the game, but I fully expect it to be a fourth quarter exciting affair.
Oh, it's going to be exciting. I'm already excited. I can't believe that we have a whole month to get ready for this game, man. I can't believe we have a whole month to get ready for this game. It's going to be a big month here on the channel. Big month on Orange Blood. It's a big month here with all my friends on Football with Friends. Thank you guys so much. If you could please remember to like the show, subscribe to the channel, certainly helps us out. Oh my God, a picture of Jake Johnson from Boy Meets World or whatever it is just coming. I'm trying to pull up the scholarship board, Blake. Okay. What is it, Jake? Why was I even looking? Oh, because of the tight end.
The A&M tight end.
Yeah. All right. Offensive guard. So, and remember the game. We have. So the game is, we list it from 1 to 10 on the importance that should be placed on these players in the transfer portal. Okay, players at this position. Okay, and we can just make this interior offensive line. How about we say that? Centers and guards.
Yes. Yeah. Group them together.
The guards that we have on board right now to discuss would be Hayden Connor, who's a junior. Jake Majors, of course, is a center, redshirt junior. Walked with the seniors, but clearly, I mean, I think the clear expectation is that, he'll be back. Cole Hudson is a true sophomore at guard. DJ Campbell is a true sophomore at guard. Redshirt freshmen here are NATO at guard, left guard / right guard / some. Man, they played him at some tackle in camp, but it feels like the ship has sailed on that. And like I mentioned earlier, NATO has been one of the guys, at least to me. God, I'm hoping my nose won't start bleeding again. It felt like it was. One of the guys to me who hasn't, we're still like, the ship hadn't sailed on him, but we're still kind of waiting for him. We're still waiting to see what he hadn't gotten to the point where you can get him in a football game yet, right? I'm not saying it won't get there, but that's kind of where he is. Connor Robertson is exactly the same. And Connor Robertson was a dude coming out of Westlake, right? Yeah. That I actually really liked. I was higher on him than most. With that being said, he's struggled when he's played, and I mean, rightfully so. The one time he played was the time whenever no one in their right mind would have expected him to be able to, go in there. It was whenever Jake Majors got banged up versus OU, right?
I thought he actually played okay in that game. I know he had the penalties, but as far as his actual gameplay, it wasn't bad. If you take away the penalties, it might not have been that bad. Was that something that we talked about at the time, Blake? Yeah, for sure. Because he had like 3 penalties that really dragged down a score. I thought he actually played pretty decent. Well, he's number 62, so especially considering the circumstances. The penalties were bad. The penalties were bad, and he also, he played. How many snaps? He kind of had some bad snaps, Blake. He did play 75 snaps in that game, but he allowed a TFL, a pressure, a sack, and a run stuff. So 4 of those on 75. It's not just the worst you've ever heard, right? But it's kind of. It's like NATO, man. It's like the ship hadn't sailed on him. It's just he's not. It's a tiny sample size in the game. He was just thrown into. Yeah. Because if that would have been any other, if they say Jake Majors would have gone into OU banged, like let's say he would have got something happened at Thursday practice, and he's just like, we don't think he's going to play. Well, what would have happened then was they would have shuffled things around, and they would have said, well, we're going to get Connor at there at center, right? And we'll see. I forgot whether was Cole Hudson even healthy for that. I forgot if Cole Hudson was healthy for that game or not. But they would have figured something out, right? I don't think he's not anybody that they ever plan to just throw in there as a principal kind of 2 deep kind of guy, right? Let me get back to the sheet. Okay, so then we also have Connor Stroh, who clearly who's not ready at this point as far as a true freshman. Then you got Daniel Cruz, who's a really good prospect coming in at the guard or center. Nate Kibble, who is not quite the prospect that Cruz is, in my estimation, as well. So your primary players here are, of course, going to be Hayden Connor, DJ Campbell, Cole Hudson. Gives NATO more time to develop. He's sort of like your sort of key bedrock developmental piece, right? A guy who other schools have asked me about, like, is this guy going to the portal? Other schools are saying, other schools are kind of vulturing in on him, hoping that maybe he's disappointed, and who knows, he might be. But it feels like to me, the way this thing is set up, that once Hayden Connor gets out of here,
you're gonna if he's not playing by the time. So Connor is a junior. He would play next year. He would be a senior. Then he'll be gone. So that would mean after next year, Nato would be a sophomore. He would probably step into a starting role as a junior at that point. So you feel like you have you have basically a good year of development from him and then a whole spring. You feel good about where he could be after that, just given his natural athleticism. Just the film on him. People are always asking about NATO, talking about NATO, saying like, why don't they get him in? I mean, that's for a reason. He had really good film. He's got some really good athletic traits. So I feel like it's pretty set pretty well. I mean, Cruz is going to be good. Connor Robertson eventually should be good. Chapman's out of the question because I think they like him better at tackle. Connor Stroh is a giant.
You still got Jake Majors, we're assuming, for another year.
Yeah, as far as the center position, I was just
we're grouping up the entire inside offensive line. I think it's pretty low concern as far as the portal goes.
Interior offensive line it's just like tackle. I don't think they're not going to go after any of these guys. They just aren't.
Yep.
There's not going to be anybody that starts over Hayden Connor and DJ Campbell that goes into the portal. There just isn't. So we'll give that a 2. Cody's saying I should have added auto mechanic for one of the things. That would be a good one. Somebody that like being able to fix your own car. Somebody that can actually work with your hands. Val Garcia, he got into real estate working with his hands, working on homes, selling power equipment to people who were building homes. Joe, look at Val, just a craftsman, one of the best in all of DFW as far as top 25%, as far as home sales, and he's going to sell your house for free. If you work in education, you work in the ministries, Val Garcia will sell your house for free. Now, if you just tell me you heard about him on Football with Friends and you're in the DFW area, he will sell your house for half price. So we're talking saving you 10, 15, 20K just for the sheer pleasure of getting to know Val Garcia, getting to work with him, his fine team of 14 agents. He's going to send them to your house. He's going to get the house looking ready. He's going to get it staged. They're going to take care of the open house. Do you really want to go around putting up those signs, doing all this stuff, getting your house listed, all the rest of it? Val Garcia is going to do it. He's going to put 20K back in your pocket that you would have never gotten at the closing table with all these closing costs. And they take the money for an administrative fee and a courier fee and all that. Guess what Val Garcia does? He puts money back in your pocket. That's the kind of guy he is. I'm so proud that there's some deals that he's working on right now with Football with Friends listeners. He's our oldest, our best sponsor, man. I love Val Garcia. He's one of us. You can get him at 469-647-8729. Of course, he's with his company's Valen Realty, valenrealty.com. His email is valgarcia@valenrealty.com. But just remember, especially if you work in education or the ministries, he's going to sell your house for free. So if you know anybody in Dallas that fits that bill, or anybody in Dallas who's even selling their home, just have them call Val Garcia and then say, I heard about you on Football with Friends. And he's going to sell your house for half price. So make sure you do your friends, your family, everybody that favor. Give them that gift. It's the season of giving. It's the season of giving. Why not?
We got some best movie characters coming in, Alex. We got Anton Chigurh, No Country for Old Men, Brad Pitt, Inglourious Bastards, and then we had Hacker slip up a little bit on this one.
Hacker with a rare L.
Cuba Gooding Jr. and Django, and then immediately realized, oh no, that was actually Jamie Foxx.
I didn't know. I didn't watch the Django Unchained. I didn't ever watch that.
Great movie, and my favorite, or one of my favorite movie characters, the one I was going to list here, is also from Django Unchained. Dr. King Schultz, played by Christoph Waltz in that movie. Phenomenal.
Do you know what? My son, I was telling him what, because my kids always ask, they're like, what's your show going to be about today? Because they always they always want to know they think the show is just about the thing that I put up here on the
right. Yeah, we talked for 2 hours.
We don't ever talk about that, right? But they're like, what's your show today about? I go, best movie character. And they said, well, what are you going to say? I'm like, I don't know. Who do you think the best movie character is? And guess what my son said? It might be the right answer. Willy Wonka from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Ooh, yep.
what's his name again? Gene something?
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder. That guy's incredible in that movie as Willy Wonka. I was like,
Gene
dude,
Wilder is awesome.
you
I was
could
really
be,
sad when he passed a few years ago.
you could be right, man. It's like I can't think of like if you think about it, just an iconic dude who just like whizzes you away into some magical wonderland of like you forget you're even watching a movie with this guy. Such a crazy such a crazy character he plays in that thing, man. It's like it's wild.
We have a third character now listed from Django Unchained, Leonardo DiCaprio's slave owning character.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Fair enough. So I guess we're not going to get DHawk on today. Maybe he's going to come on tomorrow. Maybe he won't. Like we said, DHawk always has a standing invite to come on here. I wanted to mention too also that after we talked yesterday about Trey Moore out of UTSA, the edge rusher. So Ketch put this up last night on Orange Bloods, and I guess it's been out for a day now. So I think I could probably just talk about what Ketch wrote about. But he talked to some sources, and sure enough, let me just pull it up exactly what Ketch said. So Portal Combat, Longhorns sets their eyes on a few targets. The word from Ketch is that, and look, he's saying that one of the most highly sought after players in the portal will be UTSA edge linebacker Trey Moore. Whatever we talked about is 14 sacks. One source told Ketch on Tuesday the Longhorns are very, very heavily interested in him. And I said, how could they not be, right? Yeah. I mean, just
have to be.
Of course they are. And people in the comments, of course, the first thing that came up, what does this mean for Colin Simmons? What does it mean for all that stuff? We kind of talked it out yesterday. I wouldn't be worried about this. Colin Simmons is so good. You can have both. You can have both those guys on the field at the same time. You know what I mean? You can have both those. Do you know who I think it would? And here's the thing too. I don't like it. Isn't like Trey Moore is coming in as a guy that that has only had a dynamic like freshman season, and now he's still got whatever the 3-4 years of eligibility left and stuff like that. The guy's going to come in with only 2 years of eligibility left. If he comes to Texas.
And if he's as good as we think he is, it's probably only 1 year.
The one thing that I'm not disappointed to hear about, but just something, doesn't feel like my guy Deion Burks is as big a target as old Juice Wells is. Yeah. And Cody was saying earlier in the chat, I don't know if he was saying this, but whether he was just kidding or something like that, but he was saying something about maybe Ole Miss being after Juice Wells as well.
Oh, I hadn't seen that, but I saw Cody's comment about that, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So he's saying Kiffin is currently at South Carolina. Do you think he's at South Carolina for that? Can he go? I mean, what do you mean? He's at South? He's on the university's campus. Why would they allow him to come recruit one of their players onto campus? I guess it's
just off of campus.
I guess it's a public university. I guess he can probably walk onto campus if he'd like to. I suppose. But what Ketch says about that is that the what was it? He just basically said that Deion Burks has been mentioned, and so has Carolina star Juice Wells. He's saying it's been reported that Burks was offered by the Longhorns, but the word he's received is that Wells is a player that the Longhorns are more pot to try.
Cody just sent me the tweet. It's a picture Lane posted on Twitter of a South Carolina painted golf cart.
Dude, that guy just trolls, man. It's fun. Isn't it funny that him and Sark are like best friends and their personalities just seem so different from one another, right? Maybe Sark behind closed doors has a little bit of Kiffin sort of style to him, right?
Oh, maybe so. Maybe so, a little bit in there.
Wild. So that was that. It's like we talked about yesterday, man. I would bet my mortgage payment that when Texas sees that guy at that kind of position, lined up into the transfer portal, right down the road, pass rush help. Texas needs it, right? And I guess we can probably just talk about defensive end while we're here. Defensive end edge Barron Sorrell Looks like he'll be coming back. I would imagine. I'd imagine Barron Sorrell's coming back. You have him for one more year. Justice Finkley has been a replacement level type of player. Ethan Burke, we know, has been good. Ethan Burke, though, is a player who I personally feel like Ethan Burke will be a candidate if he continues to fill out, just sort of with the profile of what a Colin Simmons looks like, if they are lucky enough to get a Trey Moore, with the fact that Colton Bosick is a smaller guy at this point than Ethan Burke. I think there could be a situation where Ethan Burke eventually moves over to the strong side, right? He could be a guy who could use it at the strong side eventually once Barron Sorrell moved on. This is something that we saw out of Charles Omenihu whenever he was here at Texas. Now, clearly it was a different staff. It was a different deal. Back then it was just a strong side defensive end versus that Fox guy. But Charles Omenihu, if you remember, started out as the pass rushing Fox dude. Then he grew into this monster. They're like, let's move over to the strong side defensive end. You think maybe that could be something that could happen with Ethan Burke. So hold on. Do we have the tweet here from Kiffin? just a total.
The best part of the tweet, you just go to the comment section and see the South Carolina fans who are just up in arms about this.
National treasure. Just a national treasure until he does this stuff to kind of, maybe call out your school or something like this. Oh, look at Cody, man. Cody, thanks for this. Joe Moore Award finalist, Georgia, LSU, Oregon, and Washington. No Texas. Man, really? With that offensive line this year.
Would be a shame if they took that personally, Alex.
Oh, let them know, man. Let them stew on it for a month, right?
Let them know. Play the clip. Play the clip.
Dude, this is the kind of thing that gets this team fired up, man.
Get Vince in there.
Yeah, whenever they get faced with this sort of, they always need something. And here's the thing, Blake. Over the course of this next month, there's not going to be any shortage of bulletin board material that they're going to be able to get, that they're going to be able to fabricate one of these chips on their shoulders again. Because if
Georgia does it every year, out of manufactures it out of nothing.
Yep,
this is what you got to do.
But dude, with all the talk, we have a whole month to talk about this thing. Right? A whole month to talk about this thing, a whole month to hear what all the national media pundits say, a whole month for these narratives to come up, like what Cody shared about the Joe Moore Award. By the way, speaking of Cody, I haven't talked to Cody, but I just figured we're just going to, even though it's not a game day, we're going to, I want to continue just doing Final Takes Fridays, right? We'll kind of put in the takes, and Cody and I will just kind of go over them. And as soon as we can, man, we're going to start getting Cody on more and more often for sure. Just need to figure out some things with sponsors and stuff like that. But Cody's going to be a bigger part of the show here soon enough. But I think let's just keep doing Final Takes on Fridays, right, Blake? We don't have to have a game. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't be our takes on the game. It could be our takes on the week, our takes on the stuff. So Cody, since you're out there, hopefully that'll work for you. If it doesn't, just text me and we'll figure something out. Okay, a super chat from He's Going From the Corner. Super chat, $1.99 USD. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I definitely appreciate it. And while I'm telling you I appreciate it, I also appreciate all you guys who've liked the show, everybody who subscribed, everybody who's been here today, man. It means a ton to all of us, dude. Blake and I are so thankful to get to be here doing this with y'all. But the question is, what is Sark's overall swag meter from one to oh gosh, I don't know. I mean,
I think it's fairly high.
Oh gosh. I mean, well you got to take into account his wardrobe, his like pregame wardrobe, right?
Sure.
I think it's his wife that really has a lot to do with that. But dude, he's the one who wears it. He's the one who he's the one who's got to walk in with the swag. So
there's something about being an offensive guru quarterback guy that has some swag to it as well.
Now does Sark wear jewelry? I don't think he wears enough jewelry to be a 10 on the swag meter.
Maybe like a nice watch.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And I think that the glasses he wears on the sunny days too, with the little tiny orange things, kind of take a little bit away from the swag. Oh,
He
Sam
doesn't have a
saying
swag copter, right?
when he gets in the Sark squad, he's a 10. The Sark squad, that's hilarious.
The swag squad is not a 10.
I give him I give him a 9. I give Sark a 9
Yeah.
on the swag meter. I give the chat a 10, man. I give all you guys a 10. I give my wife a 10 for coming home early to help with this dog training, but I got to get out to it for now. It'll be over tomorrow. We'll be back to 3:30 to 5:30. Thank you guys so much. Oh gosh,
Good one.
Andy Dufresne from Shawshank. Hopefully my dog doesn't dig under the invisible fence and out to freedom the same way that Andy Dufresne did when he went through what was it? 300 yards of human waste en route down to Mexico to meet up with his friend Red eventually. All right, so hey, listen guys, I got to get out of here. I got to go do this. For Blake,